Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's clearly my favorite book of all time. I mean, it's a timeless classic. And, in that book, Napoleon Hill dedicated an entire chapter of that masterpiece to the topic of decision. And that's what I want to talk about just for a couple minutes today. My mentor, the late Bob Proctor, also discussed this area as one that holds most people from becoming the person who they were created to be. And in his book, You Were Born Rich, he hypersimplified the concept of decision by an illustration, an example that he used in the book of a couple that he knew very well. And they were visiting one time, and the wife mentioned that they really wanted to buy a particular house. And Bob asked him, well, why don't you buy it? And the wife said, well, it costs so much money and we don't have the money to buy it. And Bob's reply was, well, you don't need any money. And the puzzled look came over the couple's face, and they're like, what do you mean we don't need the money? And Bob replied with, well, you don't need the money because you haven't made a decision to buy the house. Make the decision, and the money issue is secondary. So I brought that up to talk about decisions and how impactful they are with us arriving at our destiny. And some of us just have a miserable time with deciding. And Napoleon Hill, he captured the essence of this by saying a quote, and this is an often quoted verse of his, but I think it's as true today as it was when he wrote it back in the 1930s. But he said that successful people make decisions quickly and seldom change their minds, if ever. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change their minds frequently. I think that is so true. It is so true. And I've known very successful people, and I've known very unsuccessful people. And it's the unsuccessful people that tend to hem and haw. They'll make a decision, start going down the path, and say, no, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. And you know how that turns over. So what I wanted to mention about that particular quote from Napoleon Hill is a real example that he used about his own personal experience. I'd like to share that with you. Just a very short story. So he was a cub writer. He was a cub reporter, and trying to make his way into the writing world. And he had gotten the attention of Andrew Carnegie, who at that time was the richest man in the world. Well, Andrew brought him into his office and sat there and told him, he said, there's X number of millionaires in the country right now. And he said, and nobody knows how they did it. And what I'd like you to do, if you're up to the task, is I'd like you to spend as much time as you need, 20 years, it doesn't matter. Take as much time as you need. I'd like you to meet with all these people and find out how they achieved the wealth that they achieved. And he said, and oh, by the way, there's not going to be any compensation in this for you. So you're pretty much on your own. And then Andrew said, so what do you say? Well, what Napoleon Hill didn't know is that underneath Andrew Carnegie's desk in his hand, just like I'm holding here, you can't really see it, but he was holding a stopwatch. And Napoleon Hill accepted that assignment, and when he accepted it, Andrew Carnegie took out the stopwatch, and it was about 30 seconds. And Napoleon Hill took that assignment on, and that assignment turned into Think and Grow Rich, where he interviewed and got the methods and the secrets and the processes of just the ultra-rich of America at that time. If you've not read that book, do yourself a favor. It's a game changer. And, I don't say that about, books often, but I will say it about this one, because it truly does have the secrets to success within its pages. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you soon.